Christmas disease. Christmas disease is a real disease, but sadly it's not actually named after Christmas, the festive period. It's named after Christmas, the Young Master Christmas. Young Master Christmas you probably remember from a couple of days ago. If you haven't seen the video about Young Master Christmas, then click up there. Yeah? Gone back to see him? Right, so, Young Master Christmas and Factor 9. Factor 9 is a blood clotting factor. If you don't have enough Factor 9, then your blood will not clot properly. That means that when you cut yourself, you will bleed more, you'll be more prone to bruising, you'll be more prone to bleeding gums, nosebleeds, and so on and so on. Christmas disease is a lack of Christmas factor. Obvious question, why would you not have enough Christmas factor? In order to answer that, we need to talk about genetics. Genetics can be a little bit complicated, but we'll try and keep it as simple as possible. So, are you ready for a Christmassy crash course in genetics? Let's go. So genes are essentially instructions for how to create a bit of a person. There is a Factor 9 gene that tells your body how to create Factor 9. In a similar way for all sorts of things, eye colour for example, there will be a gene that tells your body what colour eyes to create. We'll come back to that in a second. Genes are on chromosomes. If genes are the instructions, chromosomes are the instruction books. Your body will have 23 pairs of chromosomes, 23 pairs of instruction books. I say pairs because you get one copy of each from your mum and one copy from your dad. The first 22 you have two copies of, essentially different versions of the same chromosome, different versions of the same book. The 23rd pair is a little bit different, that's the sex chromosome. We'll come back to that in a second because that's important for Christmas disease. First of all, let's talk about normal genetics. I said about the two copies, so you get one copy from your mum and one copy from your dad. Let's talk about eye colour as an example, because it's a good example. Let's just talk about brown eyes and blue eyes, because other things complicate it a little bit. There is a blue eye copy and a brown eye copy, and you'll have two copies. The brown eye copy is what we call dominant. What that means is you only need one brown eye copy in order to have brown eyes. So, you have two copies of the gene. If you have two brown eye copies, obviously you'll have brown eyes. If you have a brown eye copy and a blue eye copy, even though you've got a blue eye copy, because you've got the dominant brown eye copy, you will still have brown eyes. You will only have blue eyes if you have two blue eye copies. So you can draw how this is passed on. Let's say mum and dad both have a brown eye copy and a blue eye copy, so they've both got brown eyes. They will pass on one copy each to their children, so you'll get this.
So, mum, dad.
So mum has big B brown eye copy, little b blue eye copy, dad has the same. Now, mum will pass on one of those, so if she passes on the big B, you'll get that. If she passes on the little b, you'll get back that. If dad passes on the big B, you'll get that. If dad passes on the little b, you'll get that. Right, so they will probably, 3 out of 4, have a child with brown eyes. They will, however, have a 1 in 4 chance of having a child with blue eyes. This is important for Christmas disease when we get to the X and the Y chromosome. The Christmas disease gene is a faulty version of the Christmas factor gene. The Christmas factor gene that is healthy, that produces the Christmas factor, is dominant over the Christmas disease gene which doesn't. So you only need one copy of the healthy Christmas factor gene. The problem is that this is on your sex chromosome, so this is the X and the Y chromosome. So women have 2 X chromosomes, men have 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome. So it's a little bit different to having 2 versions of the same thing because men only have 1 X and 1 Y. So when it comes to passing it on, mum has 2 X chromosomes, dad has an X and a Y. So we will definitely get an X from mum. We will either get an X from dad or a Y from dad. So how does Christmas disease fit in? Christmas disease is a faulty gene on the X chromosome. So even if there is one faulty X here that's come from mum here, this person will not have Christmas disease because she has a healthy Christmas factor gene. She will be what we call a carrier because she's got one healthy gene, she's got one disease gene, but she won't have the disease because she's got the healthy gene, so she can make Christmas factor so she doesn't have Christmas disease. However, that gene has come from mum. If mum passes that X chromosome on to a boy, the boy doesn't have another X chromosome, the boy has a Y chromosome instead, so the boy only has the disease, Christmas disease chromosome, so the boy cannot create Christmas factor, so the boy has Christmas disease. Simple. Or maybe not. If you can take your time over thinking about it, then it actually is relatively simple. Problem is just it's not that simple when you're trying to go through it that quickly. But let's leave it like that for now. Hopefully you found it interesting. I hope today wasn't too heavy. It was a little bit heavier than some of the other videos. Let me know what you think down below. Do you like this kind of meatier video, or do you think that it's a little bit too much? Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been amazed by the response so far. Do share the videos. It really helps the channel and it's good to spread the word. Anyway, it's the end of the week. It's the weekend now. It's the perfect opportunity for you to go back and watch the doors that you haven't already. And I hope you enjoy them. I'll see you tomorrow.